Everybody knows that first impressions are extremely important to get right. Faltering when trying to portray yourself well in front of an audience for the first time can be damaging to one's confidence. But at the same time, the jubilation of knocking it out of the park on your first go-around can lift a huge burden of stress off of one's shoulders. In terms of making a good first impression, it's especially important for athletes, and a baseball player who crushed his first test in the majors was Oneil Cruz this past season. He plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that at one point made the playoffs in 3 consecutive seasons this past decade. But since those glory days, they've spun off 5 losing campaigns in the last 6 years. I thought it was smart of the rebuilding Pirates, who lost 100 games this year, to not rush their young prospect talents to the big leagues. As a nod of good faith towards the fans and the players themselves, Oneil Cruz got the call this past month for the final 2 games of the season against the Cincinnati Reds. Cruz, of course, started both games, collecting his first hit and RBI in Game 1 and his first home run in Game 2. Those will be lifelong career achievements, but Cruz managed to do something remarkable outside of those beginner accomplishments. Oneil Cruz had just 9 big league at-bats in his first set of games this past season, and people are already discussing him for doing something very few major league hitters have ever done. In his debut, Oneil Cruz's 118.2 mile/hour single is the hardest hit batted ball by a Pirates hitter since at least 2015. He did this within his first 9 at-bats. The Pirates have some really talented hitters on their squad right now, guys like Brian Reynolds and Ke'Bryan Hayes. Even if we delve into those wildcard playoff teams with guys like Andrew McCutchen and Starling Marte, even they were unable to do something like this in all of their time at Pittsburgh. So we know Oneil Cruz can hit a ball hard, real hard, in fact, as hard as some of the top elite hitters in the game. In 2021, only 7 hitters made it to 118 miles per hour on any batted ball. Only 20 have done it since 2015. Cruz did it in his first 2 hours as a big leaguer. Now, granted, there are some names on this list like Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge, as well as some lesser names like Daniel Palka and Chris Gittins. Cruz's feat doesn't guarantee any success in the big league level, but let's play around with small sample size and all the extremities that come along with it. If we look at the data we have of balls hit 118 miles per hour or harder, the highest percentage outside of Cruz right now is Giancarlo Stanton, who managed to hit the ball 118 miles per hour or harder on 14 of his 2,401 pitches in 2021, which is a rate of 0.6%. Cruz did this within his first 33 pitches seen, landing him at 3%. Just fathom for a moment a player being able to hit a ball this hard once every 9 at-bats, once every 2 games. That's Cruz's type of potential. Now, do I think this will happen on a regular basis? No, but Cruz's natural physical strength is something you should definitely keep an eye on. So who is Oneil Cruz outside of this flaming hot single? Well, this potentially generational talent was originally supposed to play for none other than the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the trading of him could likely be compared to the Dodgers dealing of Yordan Alvarez to the Astros for Josh Fields. In exchange for Cruz and another minor leaguer, the Dodgers got 27 games of Tony Watson in 2017. Now, Watson did give them 7 solid postseason innings on their National League pennant run, but if Oneil Cruz turns into the phenom that some suspect him to be, this could be a pretty interesting footnote to look back on. We haven't even mentioned the sheer size of Cruz. At 6'7", Oneil Cruz is the tallest player ever to start a game at shortstop in MLB history. Believe it or not, he played about 2/3 of his games at third base in his first 2 years of amateur ball, but has acted as a primary shortstop since 2018. Now, as you might have guessed, Cruz's height and size may act as a hindrance to his ability to play the most difficult position in baseball. We don't have much data in terms of outs above average or defensive runs saved to gauge the quality of his defense. All we really have are his errors and fielding percentage. These aren't great metrics to go off of, but let's look at them anyway, because it's all we have. Going off of this, his first year transitioning from third to shortstop was rough, to the tune of 33 errors in 103 games for a .918 fielding percentage. This number has steadily increased to .951 in 2019, before dropping back down to .927 this year, with 16 errors in 59 games. You don't have to be a baseball statistician to understand that these numbers aren't great, but minor leaguers struggling positionally in the minors and turning it around at the major league level isn't unheard of by any means. This was the case with Brandon Nimmo in center field for the New York Mets, and a great example of this at shortstop is Marcus Semien, who notoriously led all shortstops in errors in 2015 with 35, before seeing steady improvement with each passing year going into 2019. But we're not talking about Oneil Cruz for his glove, we're talking about him for his bat. Granted, back in 2017, Oneil Cruz's physical prowess was just about the only remarkable thing about him. His defense was subpar, we know that, but after sporting just a .647 OPS in 105 single-A games in 2017, a change of scenery and an escape from the Dodgers' crowded talented farm system was probably exactly what Cruz needed. His OPS jumped to 831 in his first full season in the Pirates system in 2018 at Single-A. He hit more doubles than ever, stole 11 bases, and clubbed 14 home runs as his game began to expand. With Oneil Cruz being the likely successor at shortstop for the Pirates, it'll be a jarring switch, one that I assume fans will welcome. Their shortstop since 2018, Kevin Newman, was ranked as one of the best defensive shortstops in all of baseball, coming hand in hand with his anemic offense, ranked among the worst in the league with a 56 OPS+, and just 8 barreled balls all season long. So, Oneil Cruz looks to be the exact opposite, now that he has a steadily improving defense and a blossoming bat. After battling injury in 2019 and dealing with the pandemic-era minor leagues in 2020, Oneil Cruz raked his way through AA and AAA in a single season this past year. Despite playing just 68 games, he set minor league career-high totals for himself in home runs with 17 and stolen bases with 19, with an absurd .594 slugging percentage, which was his first mark over .490. His power spike and subsequent .970 OPS mark has turned heads everywhere. Oneil Cruz's rise to the big league level has been a steady burn, one that hasn't been rushed along too much. His defense will need work assuredly, but with his experience at other positions and the potential of the DH returning to the National League, the Pirates are afforded options if this is the case. But if they can find a way to tighten that wheel on the caboose, Cruz has a legitimate case to be the next young MLB superstar in the current exciting crop. Some people are already suspecting this. Over at Fangraphs, 2 sets of projections are posted on their website that offer predictions for each player's performance in the following season. That was a lot of P's. These projections aren't the holy grail by any means, but they've come damn close to fruition on a handful of occasions while also correctly predicting breakouts for younger players from time to time as well. The first is the ZiPS projection, which uses data from the National Fantasy Baseball Championship courtesy of Dan Szymborski. That data is then transferred into the Steamer 600, which gives projections for every player over the same set of games, 142, and plate appearances, 600, hence the name. Again, I'm not saying this will come true, but Oneil Cruz is regarded extremely high in these projections. His 4.4 wins above replacement total is projected higher for next season over players like Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Rafael Devers, and Freddie Freeman. His projected .498 slugging percentage would be 25th in MLB next season, to go along with a projected 27 home runs and 121 weighted runs created plus. So, the word is out on Oneil Cruz. With a young Pirates team on the rise, he very well may be the face of a new era in Pittsburgh. Now, this is enormous pressure, there's no doubt. So let's take it easy on Cruz if he doesn't immediately live up to these seismic expectations. After all, the dude just turned 23 years old. He has a long career ahead of him. But if you're looking for a sneaky late round fantasy pick, or a National League Rookie of the Year bet with decent odds, or even just a new youngster to root for and keep your eye on, I cannot recommend Oneil Cruz enough. I can't think of any baseball player I've seen in history that's like him. He has the height of an NBA player, with the agility of an all-class athlete, to go along with the bat as strong as the likes of Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge. If he can tighten his glove and put all these pieces together, the Pirates have a serious star in their hand, one that only cost them a left-handed reliever 5 years ago. So I'm hoping for a big offseason from Pittsburgh, one that surrounds Cruz with talent and veteran presence, an offseason that will set him on the right path and will help us have short-term memories about the recent Pirates seasons. It's an exciting time to don the black and yellow, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But if you're wondering who the next great shortstop in the game might be, it very well may be Oneil Cruz. I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot more about him soon. But that'll do it for this video. I'm the Jelly Olive, and I'll see you guys next time.